has been a long journey over many years that I've been investigating this issue.
So it was very difficult to find all of the cases, to really investigate what they were actually doing.
It's not safe for journalists to work on that with like the absence of press freedom.
Mexico breaks our heart consistently, but we will keep working to make it a better country and to hold authorities accountable.
So there are many stories left to tell, especially stories of women, and this award will help make that possible for Veriuca Marta.
The best way for me to make a difference is by continuing to report the truth.
It's a project that we hold very dear, and we just want to keep going.
We continue to do investigative journalism, to continue register all the violation of human rights in Venezuela.
My story is only one story, and we all know as journalists, one story is never enough.
To be reminded that we are part of a comradeship in the public interest around the world is really inspirational to me.
This awards, I think, shows that what hasn't changed in that time is the solidarity between us.
Let's keep reaching for the stars. We shine brighter all together.
The war must come to an end to reveal the suffering of children there.
We should find a way to live in peace and to respect each other.
If you just put your eyes on the suffering and pain of the ordinary people, you will be on the right side.
That journalism and these kind of researches, which are time-consuming and expensive, will continue because we won that.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the prestigious Fetisov Journalism Awards 2024. Tonight we celebrate the power of journalism, the courage of storytellers, and the impact of truth in shaping our world. I'm Lily Dowse, and it's my honor to guide you through this inspiring evening. Before we begin, I would like to remind you all to please turn off your cell phones and all other electronic devices. I see people doing it, so we can give our undivided attention to our incredible speakers. The Fetisov Journalism Awards, established in 2019 by Russian philanthropist Mr. Gleb Fetisov, honors exceptional contributions to investigative and ethical journalism. Recognized as one of the most lucrative global journalism prizes, the awards offer substantial monetary rewards across categories such as outstanding investigative reporting, environmental journalism, contribution to civil rights, and contribution to peace. Aimed at promoting the truth and social change, the awards celebrate journalists worldwide who expose corruption, advocate for justice, and address pressing global issues, with an emphasis on stories that inspire positive impact. The initiative underscores the vital role of journalism in fostering transparency and accountability. Tonight we celebrate journalism's highest ideals because of one man's extraordinary vision. So please welcome the founder, whose leadership made all of this possible, Mr. Gleb Fetisov.
Good Good afternoon, dear nominees and distinguished guests. Today we gather to honor those whose words do not bend to trends, to fear, or to pressure. Those who choose to speak, then the silence would be easier. Your work is fire, sparked in the cold iron of lies. Your voice rises through the silence that fear tries to impose. You are not merely journalists. You are the keepers of the flame when the world is cloaked in darkness. What you do is not just reporting, not simply investigation. It's an act of resistance, a gesture at once simple and eternal, the gesture of pointing. Michael Tomasella, a renowned cognitive psychologist, once said, human consciousness was born not for language, not of abstract thought, but of pointing hand. In the animal world, even the strong do not help the weak. A baby chimpanzee loses its mother, other females see him, but none shows the way to him. They could, but they don't, because in their world, there is no reason to help. But a human became human the moment they reached out, pointing the way and said, you are not alone. Look, there is the light, there is the life. The gesture wasn't just movement. It was the beginning of what makes us human, a spark in a frozen world that turned chaos into meaning. Thousands of years have passed, and still, the gesture endures. It lives in the words your pen brings into the world. Today, the world is dazzled by artificial intelligence. Machines write, compute, compose, predict. But can they feel pain, see loneliness, understand the hunger for meaning? Then they can imitate our words, but not create compassion. They can mimic rhythms, but not beat like a heart. Meaning is not born of corn. It's born of human soul. The one that sees another and says, I am with you. Look, this is the way. And now that meaning faces new shadows. The first is postmodernism, an age that tells us truth is an illusion and values are just customs that swept at will. The second is machines, cold, efficient, all-encompassing, building a world where the person is a part, the soul is a glitch, and compassion a system error. So, can you measure pain with an algorithm? Can you translate hope into code? Can you replace a human with something that does not point? You are here because you still point, because your words carry the fire of the first gesture, because you say, he is the light, he is the truth. This is why life matters. Your pen is torch wrested from the grips of darkness. Your story, a bell that breaks the silence. Your work resistance, a love, woven together. Machines will grow smarter. Their code will deepen, but they will never give meaning. They will never say, I am here, hold on, follow the light. Because that is the work of humans. That is your work. You carry the oldest and most powerful symbol, the mark of humanity, the gesture of help, the word spoken not for glory, but because silence would be betrayal. Your pen is a flame that cannot be extinguished, a truth that will not break, a humanity that will not yield. And so here, On this stage, before the world, we bow not to technology, not to the progress, but to the courage to speak the truth. Thank you for your presence, for lighting the way, for keeping the fire alive, and for remaining human in the age of machines.
Please, Mr. Fetisov, another round of applause, everyone, for his outstanding contribution to global journalism. I would now like to invite Ms. Alisa Fetisova, daughter of the Fetisov Journalism Awards founder, to join us on stage. Miss Alisa, we're deeply honored.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to stand on this stage this evening among respected jury, experts, and most importantly, true rebels. Rebels for the truth, rebels that see no obstacles, that fear no persecution in the noble work that they're conducting. Every name we honor tonight belongs to someone who dared to stand between power and people and choose the people. Every name we honor tonight belongs to someone who contributed to one of the world's most significant missions of bringing the power back to the people. They understand the costs and the risks that come from their hard, at times life-threatening investigative work, yet they consciously choose to follow the path of their hearts and the mission of their living, which lies in the fair, transparent grounds for all. They cannot simply stay indifferent to the vicious circle of various social problems, from the discrimination of minorities trapped in poverty and starvation to political repression of people that represent our voices and reflect the imperfect nature of seemingly just institutes of justice. Journalism offers protection to the people from any exercise of unwanted, often destructive power, defending the rights of their surroundings, as well as the household and our common household, our beautiful planet and its scarce resources. Journalists do not fall under the false illusion of security. They constantly challenge its notion by revealing the most concealed intentions. They are able to determine where the real hidden danger comes from, even in seemingly most peaceful and progressive environments. They are not only socially and emotionally intelligent people, they are truly the most courageous, brave spirits that are here to protect us, to give voice to the most vulnerable communities and shed rescuing light at the places that could otherwise be left forgotten. Journalists heal wounds, no matter how deep or shallow they may be. Tonight, we're here to celebrate the beauty of this art. Tonight, we're here to celebrate the capacity of breaking the human limits and achieving unprecedented heights. Tonight, we celebrate the heritage of the most groundbreaking disclosures. Tonight, we're here to celebrate endlessly courage that inspires millions of people all around the world and gives hopes for the best of humanity. Tonight, we're here to celebrate the common bond of faith that the light will always conquer evil. Together, we stand for a more inclusive world for all. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for those powerful words. Now, more than 400 entries were submitted for the FJA contest in 2024. Our expert council, a community of high-level professionals with distinguished standing in global journalism, has undertaken the arduous task of preparing the shortlist. It's now time to introduce our expert panel, so please draw your attention to the screen. Alexander Varsalek, Alexander Zuckerman, Alvin Antabianye, Andreas Harsono, Anna Del Freyo, Andrei Zhaviblitz, Antonella Scott, Babita Basnet, Barish Altintash, Brent Edwards, Chirian George, Christos Christofides, Daniela Pinheiro, David Dembele, Dilrukshi Handanetti, Emma Clark, Gabrielle Baglow, Ivana Dragicevic, Joanne Shirwa, Kanda Dixit, Li Ji Bei, Liliana Zuravats, Naranchaga Hashu, Rafaela Kyodo Karpinski, Remzi Lani, Salla Nazarenko, Seamus Martin, Sevda Alankush, So Mint, Svetlana Pasti, Stuart Laidlaw, Vanina Berghella, Jalal Naziri, Yana Israelian, Yusuf Jamil. A round of applause, everyone. Our expert council, we thank all of the experts for their efforts and huge contribution to this contest. The shortlist for the Fetisov Journalism Awards 2024 comprises of 36 projects that show journalists from more than 25 countries around the world who are confronting these challenges. 16 of the shortlisted projects were team projects, including 7 cross-border investigations. The winners of the Fetisov Journalism Awards 2024 were selected by the renowned jurors of the contest. Their collective experience ensures recognition of work that upholds the highest principles of integrity and public service. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please draw your attention to the screen. Join me in welcoming the jury panel of the Fetisov Journalism Awards. Yeva Merkachova, a journalist, human rights defender, and author. Julianne Schultz, founding editor of the award-winning Australian quarterly Griffith Review, Professor Emeritus of Media and Culture at the Griffith Centre for Social and Cultural Research. Carly Nordenstreng, Professor Emeritus of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Tampere. Katrina Vanden Heuvel, an American editor and publisher, editorial director, and publisher of the progressive magazine, The Nation. Milica Pesic, media and diversity expert, the executive director of London-based Media Diversity Institute, MDI. Pravit Rojana Pruk, an award-winning journalist and advocate for press freedom, columnist and senior staff writer at CoSod English, an online English language news organisation based in Bangkok. Ricardo Gutiérrez, Secretary General of European Federation of Journalists. Tony Sadownichik, environmental issues consultant with more than 20 years working across international environmental campaigns, markets, corporate and government policy development. Tori Pedersen, Special Advisor of Schibsted Group, member of One IFRA Expert Council. Zafar Abbas, the editor of Dawn, Pakistan's leading English language newspaper. Another round of applause for our jury, ladies and gentlemen. Incredible. Now, before we announce the name of our incredible winners in the 4 categories of the awards, I would like to welcome to stage Mr. George Demosthenous, the board member of KPMG in Cyprus. KPMG was entrusted with the mission of independent validation of the results of the FJA 2024 contest. So please welcome to stage Mr. Demosthenous.
I hope you are enjoying the event. KPMG has carried out an independent verification of the results of the competition in accordance with the calculation algorithm provided by the steering committee. I now hand over the envelopes with the results to the chair of the steering committee, Eva Merkacheva.
Amazing, thank you so much. Perfect. The 2024 Fetisov Journalism Awards shortlist showcases exceptional reporting from around the globe, spotlighting groundbreaking investigations and stories that tackle pressing societal challenges. This year's nominees span categories such as Outstanding Investigative Reporting, Excellence in Environmental Journalism, Contribution to Civil Rights, and Outstanding Contribution to Peace, reflecting diverse themes like climate crises, human rights struggles, corruption exposés, and underreported humanitarian issues. Selected by an international jury of journalism luminaires, the shortlist works exemplify courage, ethical rigor, and transformative impact. Hailing from over 25 countries, the entries highlight journalism's power to drive accountability and inspire change. So let's take a look at the selection of articles that represent the shortlist 2024. Please draw your attention to screen. of the nominees for their hard work and dedication. Round of applause. Your work is a beacon of hope in an age of uncertainty. Thank you for proving through every story that journalism matters. And we congratulate the authors who entered the shortlist on their tremendous achievement. We are now moments away from announcing the winners in the 4 categories of the Fetisov Journalism Awards 2024. Outstanding Investigative Reporting category is represented by rigorous, in-depth journalism that uncovers hidden truths, systemic corruption, or abuses of power, often involving significant risk. It prioritizes factual accuracy, ethical sourcing, and public impact, exposing injustices to drive accountability, reform, or societal awareness. The finalists in this category, Outstanding Investigative Reporting, are as follows. Draw your attention to screen.
Hi everybody, my name is Bram Ebes. I'm representing the project Amazon Underworld and I'm a Dutch journalist living in Colombia in Latin America. In our project, we work on collaborative, cross-border journalistic investigations, and we want to understand when does organized crime prevail in the world's largest tropical rainforest. Too often, the answer is right now, because we see that criminals start to govern, to decide who can enter or leave an area, which sectors to tax, but also who will live or die. With our journalistic alliance with over 35 journalists and media professionals, we've been mapping the presence of criminals and armed groups in the Amazon region, and we've been trying to identify their illicit economies. But we also look behind the maps and the numbers and travel to the Amazon to narrate its criminal economies, but also to grasp the root causes of crime and illicit economies, targeting the vulnerable ecosystem and Amazon populations.
In Canada, freedom of information laws are failing. Globe and Mail decided to investigate the system itself, and our year-long investigation found that almost 50% of the requests don't come back on time. And even if they do, they're mostly withheld or highly redacted. To spark change, the Globe and Mail built Secret Canada, a first-of-its-kind database, making thousands of government records accessible to journalists and the public. With a team of dedicated reporters and editors, this project has pushed freedom of information reform into the national conversation. Because transparency is the foundation of democracy.
Imagine if billions of dollars were sitting in a bank account, and that bank account was in one of the most dysfunctional countries in the world. Sooner or later, someone would want to steal them. And sooner or later, someone did.
This is kind of high-level financial corruption.
This is the story of the biggest bank heist in history. For months, The Economist Middle East correspondent Nicolas Pelham has been following the trail to figure out how the cash was stolen.
It was done without sawn-off shotguns, without balaclavas. This was the ultimate inside job.
And who did it.
This is a very serious crime by very powerful people.
I would like to call on stage the General Secretary of European Federation of Journalism, Mr. Ricardo Gutiérrez, for presenting the awards in this category. Please, Mr. Gutiérrez, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm really proud to present the award in the investigative journalism category. This is the category that best embodies the social mission of journalists in the service of citizens. The crucial responsibility of holding those in power to account. And you know it, these days, investigative journalism is in danger, is at stake. Opposing forces in the US, in Russia, all over the world, want to silence it. It is more important than ever to celebrate this demanding journalism, which is fundamentally at the service of the public interest. Thank you to the Fetisov Journalism Awards for helping to celebrate this fundamental journalism which guarantees the exercise of democracy and the rule of law.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Mr. Gutiérrez. Another round of applause. We are super excited, so please open the envelope and name the third prize winner in the category of Outstanding Investigative Reporting. Oh, who is our third place?
The third prize goes to Nicolas Pelham, the Baghdad job who was behind history's biggest bank heist.
Congratulations to Mr. Nicolas Pelham. Please come up to stage. The third prize winner wins 10,000 Swiss francs. Congratulations.
It's an honor to be on the stage tonight. This was an attempt to report the gutting of a country by power brokers in Iraq from across the political spectrum, who all saw an interest in impoverishing a country for their own gain. None of this would be possible without the people who you don't see up here, the editors, the page designers, a whole team at The Economist. It wouldn't be possible without those in Iraq who, at considerable risk to themselves, far greater than the risk that I took, confided in me and told their story and described just the degree of ravishment of a country. And it wouldn't be possible ultimately without all of you, without the recognition, because we like to think of ourselves as those who speak truth to power, but really if those voices aren't heard, if they're not read, if people no longer read or no longer recognize the work that we're doing, it's all going to be in vain. So it's only going to be when we have an audience, when the world isn't saturated with an awful lot of nonsense and still values decent journalism, that we're still going to be able to speak truth to power. So thank you to all of you for being here.
Once again, our sincere congratulations to the third prize winner in the category of Outstanding Investigative Reporting. And now the time comes to announce the second prize winner in the category Outstanding Investigative Reporting. Mr. Gutiérrez, the power is in your hands. Please open the envelope.
And the second prize goes to Tom Cardoso, Robyn, Doolittle, Mahima, Singh, Ming, Wong for Secret Canada. Congratulations.
The winners invited to join us on stage. Miss Mahima, please please join us on stage. Congratulations. Miss Mahima Singh. Miss Mahima Singh is representing her team tonight. Our congratulations to the team from Canada. The second prize winner receives 20,000 Swiss francs and memorable gifts. Miss Mahima Singh, please, if you could give a few words.
Hello, hi everyone. Thank you so much. It's an incredible honor to accept this on behalf of the Secret Canada team at the Globe and Mail. As a data editor, I worked on a lot of ambitious projects, but this one felt very different. We weren't just investigating a broken system, we were also trying to figure out a way to build something that could help fix it. For over more than a year, our team filed hundreds of access of information requests, dug through the data, and spoke to over 200 people across the country to figure out what was actually happening and why was the system failing. secretcanada.com is a free searchable database of more than 300,000 government records built to empower reporters, researchers, and citizens across the country. This project is a result of a tireless work of our reporters, our brilliant team of editors, designers, and data journalists who believe that access to information should belong to everyone. On behalf of my team, I would like to thank the Fetisov jury and the expert panel for recognizing this work. It's a huge honor, and it means so much, not just to us, but to everyone fighting for transparency across the world. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again on the incredible prize. And now it is the moment of truth. We are going to find out the first prize winner in the category of Outstanding Investigative Reporting. Mr. Gutiérrez, please, let's find out. The tension.
And the first prize goes to Bram Ibus, Juan Torres, and team of authors for Amazon Underworld. Very well deserved.
Join me in welcoming the winners to stage to accept their prizes. The winners in this category receive a money prize of 100,000 Swiss francs. Congratulations, take it away.
Hi everybody, good evening. Well, we've come a long way to reach Dubai, but we also traveled deep into the Amazon, and I definitely must say this award wouldn't have been possible without the collaboration of almost 40 journalists, investigators, media professionals. We've been working with a partner in Venezuela, which is amazing, which is Armando Info, in Colombia, La Liga contra el Silencio, and in Brazil, Info Amazonia. We've talking to gold miners, community leaders, experts, environmental defenders, drug traffickers to really grasp what is going on with crime trends in the Amazon and exacerbating violence. We've tried to tell the story, and with this network and with backing like these kinds of awards, we will continue with journalism in the Amazon. We will work together with journalists in 6 countries because we believe that cooperation is key to understand these trends that sometimes are hard to grasp. So thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. I'm just, I think, too happy to speak now, but I really want to also thank, besides what Bram mentioned, the Fetisov Awards, because we work as independent media, and these awards are, at the end of the day, very important for us to get more funds. We talked about funding journalism, and this is what we can, like, proves what we do, because sometimes we don't get the readership that big outlets get, but this is what makes us knock the door of the funders and say, hey, what we do is valuable. So thank you very much.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's Juan Torres and Bram Ebbers representing their incredible winning team tonight. Let's get another round of applause for all our winners and runners-up in the Outstanding Investigative Reporting category. Mr. Gutiérrez, thank you so much for your help. It has been a pleasure. Wow, so much excitement in this room. So now let's move on to our second category of the awards this evening, Excellence in Environmental Journalism. This awards category honors outstanding reporting on environmental issues, including climate change, conservation, pollution, and sustainability. It recognizes journalists who demonstrate in-depth research, compelling storytelling, and commitment to raising public awareness about critical ecological challenges. So let's see the finalists in this amazing, important category. Eyes on the screen.
Hi, I'm Fabian Feder, a Franco-German reporter based in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. I report on the environment, mainly rainforests and supply chains that are linking these rainforests to us. My story is called An Illegal Gold Mine for Switzerland, and it was published in Das Magazin, Switzerland's largest weekly magazine. The story is about a dream of a better life, a dream of gold, which is driving tens of thousands of Brazilians into the rainforests on the EU border between French Guiana and Suriname. They leave behind contaminated rivers and sick indigenous populations. The driver of this is us, because the gold price has been surging for 15 years. National banks are buying, rich countries are stocking up on gold. And although much of this gold is mined under the conditions that I'm describing in the story, somehow all of the gold we buy is supposed to be clean and has the certifications to prove it. In this story, I wanted to show that even gold of clearly illegal origin can make its way into the most reputable refineries and companies.
Thank you very much for taking in consideration our work. Rimare Nostrum is a project where we try to understand how climate change has affected and is affecting the north and the south and the east of the Mediterranean. That's why we went to different countries in the Mediterranean area. We went to Tunis, we went to Lebanon, in Egypt, also Spain, and also in the north path in Greece, in Turkey. We wanted to show the problems, the plastic pollution, the invasive species, and also the rise of temperatures, different aspects of how climate change affects the Mediterranean, but also focus on the positive sides, what people is doing, how people is working together to make this problem, this situation better, and how it's important that for the Mediterranean. So thank you very much for taking in consideration this work, and we are very happy to be here with you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Peter Waldman with Bloomberg in San Francisco. Together with my colleagues Katarina Haya and Momar Niang in Senegal, we wrote an article called Global Hunt for Profit Risks Draining Cities Dry. It's about a 20,000 hectare alfalfa farm being developed in northern Senegal and using extremely scarce water supplies from a lake that also supplies the drinking water to the city of Dakar of 5 million people. However, the alfalfa being grown is not for cattle in Senegal, but for cattle and racehorses in Saudi Arabia and other parts of the Arabian Gulf. It's a story with a troubling message about how greed can trump the need of local people for their own water.
Let's get a round of applause for the finalists, everyone. I would like to invite to stage Ms. Salla Nazarenko, International Affairs Specialist at the Union of Journalists in Finland, for presenting the awards to the winners in this category. Ms. Nazarenko, looking absolutely fabulous. The stage is yours.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone, friends, colleagues, friends of great journalism. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I would like to start this very, very short speech with a quote from a colleague. A couple of weeks ago in a journalism event in Helsinki, where I'm from, she said that we are living in an era that was never supposed to come. And I think we all agree with her. Mass extinction of species, climate change, eroding democracies, militarization of societies. The list is very long, and I don't even have to go any further. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the contestants, all courageous and persistent journalists who submitted their work to the Fetisov Journalism Awards this year. Reading your work really gave me hope. And earlier today, another quote from a colleague, Nadezhda Azhikina said at our expert roundtable that hope springs eternally. I wrote that down here, it sounded so great. And I think journalism and these brilliant stories not only expose the endless mistake made by men, but they also stand as examples of progress, wisdom, and of hope, and finally empathy towards the earth and all species inhabiting it. So it's really my great joy and privilege to stand here today and give out the prizes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Nazarenko. I think it's time. Here is the envelope. So please announce the name of the third prize winner in this category. Everyone is so excited in the audience. Who is our third prize winner here tonight?
These gloves are not very handy, so whenever you guys do this, don't wear these. But the third prize goes to Fabian Fidel, Brazil, an illegal gold mine for Switzerland.
Hi. Thank you, everybody. I know everybody says this to be modest, but I have not expected this. And it's an interesting day also today for this specific story to get an award, because today in the morning, if everybody read the news, the gold price has, for the first time in history, surpassed $3,000 the ounce, which means it's the most expensive day for gold in the history of the market. And what I actually want to make of this here as well is I'm a freelancer, and I know many of the nominees are freelancers. And this is more than just recognition for us. This is sometimes also how we can survive in this business that has been, well, not doing too well for the last few decades. So thank you, Mr. Fetisov. Thank you, the jury, and thank you, everybody.
Congratulations to Mr. Fidel. He is our third prize winner in the category of Excellence in Environmental Journalism, receiving 10,000 Swiss francs. And now, oh yes, we can keep that here. It is time for our second prize winner in the category Excellence in Environmental Journalism. Let's find out who our second prize winner is.
So the second prize goes to Peter Waldman, Momar Nyang, and Katarina Höje, a global hunt for water profit risk training series trial.
Congratulations to the team winning 20,000 Swiss francs. Are you ready? Please take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Fetisov Steering Committee, the foundation, everyone involved in this beautiful ceremony. And this story is the result of some questions that we were asking ourselves, and I get the lead from my colleague Peter, and asking me, what do you think about this? This is a land transaction, a deal that we need to investigate. And in the course of this investigation, we ended up finding the health implication, the environmental implication, and how a business is being a threat to livelihoods. And in the story, we spoke with farmers, fishermen, shepherds, cattle breeders, so many people. And from a human point of view, I was very honored to take place to this project. It's like I just see it like a landmark in my career. You know? And I want to thank also the Bloomberg office, the Africa office, the editors, my colleagues Peter and Katarina for their dedication and also for their generosity. Thank you.
A big congratulations, our second prize winner, well deserved. So many amazing winners this evening. Congratulations. And now it is time for our first prize in this category. So, shall we find out, Ms. Nazarenko? This is our first prize winner in the Excellence in Environmental Journalism.
So the first prize goes to Laura Arajo and Xavier Aldecoa, Spain, RIP Mare Nostrum.
Congratulations. Welcome to stage our first prize winners in this category. A money prize of 100,000 Swiss francs goes to these incredible winners. So please, I give the floor to you.
Thank you very much for this honor. It's a pleasure to be here with you. It's an honor to receive to be recognized by a prize with the name of Mr. Fetisov, a man who believes that journalism is a tool to say the truth with no fear. So thank you very much. When Laura, that is a specialist reporter in climate change, and me as an Africa correspondent, we decided to join forces to explain how the threat of climate change is affecting Mediterranean. But we saw that also the impact was very different in the north, south, or east of this Mediterranean. But more important than that, we saw that we have a lot of in common in the Mediterranean countries. A fisherman in Tunis or in Alexandria in Egypt, a scientist in Lebanon or in our country in Costa Brava, Catalonia, Spain, or a sailor in Greece or Turkey. We share the love for our land and for our Mediterranean Sea. We saw that a lot of people is working together to protect this Mediterranean Sea. We were talking before, Laura and me, that also journalism is a team working job. We are very thankful to the people who helped us when we were working on the ground, but also our colleagues on our newspaper that were working also with us to do this work. So thank you very much. We're very happy to be here with you. Thank you.
Amazing. Congratulations. Our incredible winners in this category, Excellent in Environmental Journalism. And a big thank you to Ms. Nazarenko for your help on stage. Let's get a round of applause for Ms. Nazarenko, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the third category of awards for this evening. Contribution to Civil Rights Awards category honors impactful reporting on issues of equality, justice, and human rights. It recognizes journalists whose work exposes discrimination, amplifies marginalized voices, and holds power accountable. Advancing public understanding of civil rights struggles, past and present. Winning entries demonstrate courageous storytelling, investigative depth, and a commitment to fostering social progress.
Katie McHugh. I'm an investigative journalist based in New York, and I cover tech and human rights. My series of articles expose how child predators use major tech platforms such as Facebook and Instagram to exploit vulnerable children, which in some cases leads to human trafficking. These articles delve into the regulatory gaps and the systemic failings of tech companies in addressing these risks. They also shed light on the deep harm inflicted on victims, survivors, and their parents.
I'm Will Caldwell, feature writer based in the UK. My story, The Prospect, is titled "A Teenage Migrant Piloted a Dinghy That Sank in the Channel. Then he was charged with manslaughter." It examines the tragic case of Ibrahim Abbar, a young asylum seeker who was put on trial after the boat he was piloting sank and at least 4 people drowned, including his best friend. Abbar was found guilty and he is currently serving 9.5 years. The trial was the first of its kind in the UK, and it revealed how far the rights of asylum seekers have been eroded in this country. It also showed the extent to which the government is willing to punish migrants for the dangerous crossings they still have no choice but to make.
More than 29,000 people have died on European migration routes in the last decade, most of whose names remain unknown. Our cross-border team confirmed over 1,000 migrants' graves buried without names in 65 cemeteries. For this investigation, I covered the Eastern European borders, stretching between Lithuania, Poland, Latvia, and Belarus. There, I heard the story of Sanrim and Sanuja from Sri Lanka. "No water, I think I'll die. I love you." This is the last text Sanuja received from her husband, Sanrim, who disappeared after a pushback into the dense forest between Belarus and Lithuania. From 8,000 kilometers away, Sanuja tried to call for help, but this wasn't easy. Over 6 months after his disappearance, Sanrim was laid to rest in Vilnius, Lithuania, in a ceremony attended by a few volunteers from an NGO supporting migrants in the region, and Sanuja giving the last goodbye to her husband through the screen of her phone. More than a year after his burial, Sanuja and her child haven't been able to visit Sanrim's grave. None of the less, she persists in her quest for truth and justice with an ongoing legal battle regarding her husband's fate.
I would like to call on stage Ms. Yeva Merkacheva, an investigative journalist, author, human rights defender, and lecturer in journalism.
Thank you, dear colleagues, dear friends. Today is Planet Earth Day. Everything the planet needs from us is to be human, to be ourselves. This category is about us.
Amazing, thank you so much. So Ms. Merkacheva, please open the 3rd prize winning envelope in the contribution to civil rights category. Let's find out our 3rd prize winner this evening.
Will Caldwell.
Our congratulations to the 3rd prize winner. I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Caldwell.
Thanks very much. It means a lot to know that the story I wrote about Ibrahima has been seen and made an impression internationally. Injustices such as his can be quickly forgotten, so I'm honoured to have played a small part in keeping his story in people's minds, and I really hope it counts for something. But really, my story offers just a small snapshot into what's going on in the UK. Ibrahima's case is an extreme example, but the lives of many others like him have been upended as a result of growing nationalism and harsh border policies. It's hard to be optimistic with the world right now, but it's reassuring to be in a room with so many brilliant people dedicated to challenging these politics at a time when they pose a bigger threat than ever. So I want to convey my gratitude to the Fetisov Foundation for making that possible. It's an absolute honor to receive this prize, and the work by every nominee is really exceptional, so it's quite humbling. Yeah, I would also like to draw attention to some of the organizations working daily to fight injustices faced by migrants such as Ibrahima, like Refugee Action, Humans for Rights, and Captain Support, which include many people who offered me assistance during my reporting. And finally, of course, I'd like to thank my editors and the team behind all this at Prospect Magazine for giving me the time and space to cover this story. So thanks so much, everyone.
Amazing. Let's give a big round of applause for our third prize winner in the contribution to civil rights category. Ms. Yeva, the power is back in your hands. Please open the envelope and let's find out our second prize winner in this category.
Katie McHugh, USA.
Congratulations, Katie. The winner receives 20,000 Swiss francs for the second prize in the contribution to civil rights. Mr. Blake Montgomery, the tech editor for Guardian US, is with us tonight, accepting the prize on the behalf of the author. So Blake, the floor is yours.
My name is not Katie McHugh, but I am lucky enough to be her editor. I want to say thank you to the Fetisov Foundation and the judges and the expert panel. I also wanted to congratulate my fellow winners. Your work is quite inspiring and, as Will said, quite humbling. I want to congratulate Katie, who can't be here tonight. She is a superlative reporter who graciously made it possible for The Guardian to publish these stories. I also want to say, if she's watching, she's very, very talented. Her work exposed how new technology is being bent towards hideous ends to exploit children and their families, and how tech companies are failing to fill the gap, as well as laws that have not caught up with what's going on. She documented the abuse and trafficking of children via both social media and AI, and our lawmakers, especially in the US, where the world's biggest social media companies and AI companies are headquartered, have barely begun to grapple with social media networks' effects on children, so I do not think they will take speedy action when it regards AI. I do have hope for the future, even though the present may worsen, I think. If I didn't, I would not do this work, and I appreciate that awards like this one make that possible. So thank you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Montgomery, for accepting this incredible award, and our sincere congratulations to Ms. Katie McHugh. And now we're ready to announce our first prize winner of the Fetisov Journalism Awards for contribution in civil rights. Let's find out our winner.
Gabriela Ramirez and Tina Su.
Congratulations. I give the floor to our incredible winners. What do they win? They win an amazing 100,000 Swiss francs. Congratulations, ladies. The floor is yours, our amazing winners.
Good evening. It's really such an honor to be here. Just among so many amazing journalists, it's really, really touching to be part of this and to, yeah, I feel that it's, I mean, it's just really amazing to see that all of us here are fighting for the journalism we believe in. and in the times we are living in, especially. So really thank you to the Fetisov Journalism Awards for recognizing our work, and not just our work, but the lives and the stories and the losses that are behind it. Tonight, for me, is a reminder that journalism at its best is not about neutrality, it's about humanity. And the journalism can and must stand for change, they must stand for justice, and that is not activism, that is called quality journalism. And that's what we are doing, and I really take this prize as a reminder of the work I want to continue to do and the work we want to continue to do, bringing the stories of the most remote villages that sometimes represent through the life of a woman who lost her husband because of policies made far away from their homes, but they have devastating consequences across the countries. So I hope tonight is also a reflection on who we are as a society, the values that we hold, and how can we make a better world. Thank you.
Congratulations to our winners. It's amazing to see how much this means.
As Fabian said earlier, many of us here on the stage today, we are freelancers. And so I just want to say that coming from this place where we have to really fight for every scrap of funding, every scrap of recognition, every scrap of reach, this award does make it possible, as Fabian said, for us to survive. So that means a lot. We will continue to do the work that we do for the battle that continues even for the protagonist in our story. Her battle continues in the European Court of Human Rights. But as journalists, we will continue to do our work, to stand, to speak truth to power, and to hold the powerful accountable. Thank you.
Amazing. A huge round of applause for all the prize winners in civil rights category. And I would also like to give a big thank you to Miss Yeva Merkacheva. Thank you for joining me and helping me on stage. Wow, that was an incredible category. So we are now moving on to our fourth category of the awards. The Outstanding Contribution to Peace category honors individuals or organizations that have significantly advanced global peace through ethical reporting, conflict resolution, or fostering dialogue, often by exposing injustices, promoting reconciliation, or reducing tensions through media. And now, please, eyes on the screen.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Billing, and I'm so honored to be nominated for my investigation, How America's War Devastated Afghanistan's Environment, alongside such incredible work. This is a story about what was left behind after America's longest war. It's about the US military's blatant disregard for Afghanistan's environment and the health of Afghans themselves. Beyond the obvious impacts of bombs and weapons, the tools of war leave much more insidious, longer-lasting impacts that are far harder to see or measure. I'd wanted to do this story for years. I visited the sites of 3 of the largest former US bases in Afghanistan, and I spoke with doctors, former base workers, and more than 50 Afghan residents living nearby. All told me they believe their health problems were a direct result of the waste from these bases. For 2 decades, Afghans raised children, went to work, and gave birth next to these bases, which churned out millions of pounds of hazardous waste. For years, local residents reported that these bases dumped vast quantities of sewage, chemical waste, and toxic substances onto their land and into their waterways, contaminating farmland and groundwater for entire communities living nearby, but nothing changed. They also suffered under the base's enormous burn pits, which they say continued until America's exit. The US government has never offered any assistance to Afghans who now suffer from life-altering health problems as a result of the contamination from these US bases. In many cases, they're the exact same health problems that are suffered by US service members who also worked and lived on the bases. While the US has now left Afghanistan, they left behind an environmental and public health disaster that will linger for decades to come.
My name is Nick Terse, and I've been a freelance journalist covering U.S. national security, conflicts in Africa, and civilian casualties for more than 2 decades. This series, for The Intercept, began with an investigation simply titled Civilian Harm, which used secret U.S. military documents to investigate a U.S. drone strike that killed as many as 5 Somali civilians, including 22-year-old Lul Dahir Muhammad and her 4-year-old daughter, Miriam Sheila Muse. The U.S. military never knew who it killed, and never wanted anyone else to know either. Our investigation spurred condemnation of the Pentagon, international assistance to the family, and congressional outcry, demanding that the U.S. Department of Defense apologize to and compensate the family.
My name is Sarah Topol, and I'm a contributing writer to the New York Times Magazine. My article is called "The America That Americans Forget." As tensions with China rise, the US military is building up on Guam and other Pacific islands, placing the burdens of empire on the nation's most ignored and underrepresented citizens. To report this story, I spent 6 weeks in the Pacific looking at America's empire outside the 50 states, from unincorporated territory to Commonwealth to free association, in Guam, the Northern Marianas, Micronesia, and the Marshall Islands. The US dominates many aspects of life there, but the islands were rarely mentioned by DC until rivalry with China reminded the metropole of their existence. Now, they are the setting of a soft power tug-of-war between the US and China, and an American military buildup on a scale unseen since World War II. Guam, the hub of the buildup, is still an internationally recognized colony. As the US fortifies its presence in the region, it is putting Americans at risk for a new war with a direct impact on citizens in ways our wars have not entailed since 1941. Yet nearly no one in the continental United States seems to be aware of these stakes and how exponentially they are rising. If the United States decides to go to war in the Pacific, do Americans even know what that means, who it involves, or what injustices it perpetuates?
These officers were deployed as peacekeepers for the United Nations. Even after they served in a unit that kills and tortures.
This is deplorable, no doubt.
Following a tip, we looked into soldiers who served on UN missions to protect the world's most vulnerable. What we found was worrying.
We get some really pretty useless troops and some pretty brutal ones as well.
With this investigation, we can reveal that Bangladesh and Sri Lanka deployed peacekeepers implicated in grave human rights abuses.
I bear witness to multiple extrajudicial killings, including cold-blooded killing.
And that the UN seemingly turned a blind eye.
This is impunity writ large, and nobody has done anything to stop that.
Which poses the questions, how is that possible? And is it still happening?
Wow, So I would like to call on stage Mr. Pravit Rojanapruk, an award-winning journalist and advocate for press freedom, columnist and senior staff writer at COSOD English, an online English language news organization based in Bangkok. He's going to be helping me presenting the award winners in this category. Please welcome Mr. Rojanapruk.
Hello. Good evening. Thank you for having me here. This is your DEI jury member speaking. As you have seen, a lot of the articles touch on the dark side of the United States. So I guess my 10-year re-entry, multiple entry visa to the US is now pretty much gone. And probably this is the reason why I'm chosen here, because perhaps some other jury members or expert council members too might want to travel to the United States. But on the darker side, it's an overwhelming read for people like myself, you know, particularly during the month of December. That's when we go through all these shortlisted articles. And it reminds me, these articles that you have seen reminds me that peace is much more than the absence of war. And that an effective way to communicate is not just through facts, numbers, but with empathy, stories about what happened to Afghanistan, for example, or the United Nations missions somewhere in Africa. These are very disturbing things to read, and it reminds us that journalism could play a part in making us recognize that to ensure peace, it's not just about not having war. And given this very upheaval time that we are in, I think it's most befitting that we honor these writers this evening. So thank you very much, and let's just get on with the awards.
And thank you very much, Mr. Rojanapruk. Round of applause, everyone. It is now time to reveal the third prize winner of the Fetisov Journalism Awards for outstanding contribution to peace. The power is in your hands. Please open the envelope.
Well, I was told that 2 co-winners for the third prize.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's right. I don't know if they have to split the prize money, but let me read the first one. The first, but not in any particular order, co-winner of the third prize for the outstanding contribution to peace is Birgitta Schulker from Germany. And the second one, Lindsay Billing from the United Kingdom. Please give a big hand.
Congratulations. I believe Lindsay is here to collect her third prize. Congratulations. Unfortunately, the team from Germany who are sharing this prize are unable to be with us this evening, but we have Miss Lindsay Billings and the team of authors, so please let's hear from Lindsay. Congratulations.
Thank you very much to the Fetisov Journalism Awards for this, and to the jury. It means a lot to me, not just because I'm from Afghanistan and that's where my work is focused, but because it means that we haven't forgotten about Afghanistan. Much of my work is focused on the military and intelligence community, and I think this story is really important because it's not just in Afghanistan that the US military left these effects. I also think it's important because I wanted to do it for years and nobody wanted to take the story while these bases were in operation, while you could see contractors driving waste outside of them, you could see them visibly dumping in rivers, and the opportunity came to do this after America's exit. But it really was about just speaking to 360 degree of people, doctors, residents, everybody who had been talking about this for years. And I think with a lot of the stories this evening, people who we speak to have been talking about these issues for years, and it's about making sure that someone listens to them, even if it's years after. So thank you.
Congratulations. And I believe we're also going to have a video from the Germany team. So,
Fellow journalists, board of the Fetisov Award, distinguished guests, and all gathered in Dubai today. We are honored and delighted to have been selected as one of the winners of the Fetisov Award, and also awed by the stories published by our fellow colleagues.
It's heartening and indeed humbling to see such outstanding work, despite the difficulties we journalists face in reporting, particularly from and in Asia.
This story was a collaboration with Netra News and Süddeutsche Zeitung. We would like to mention our brilliant colleagues Lena Weinmann and Tasnim Khalil and his outstanding team.
Our special thanks and gratitude also goes to DW's leadership for putting its trust into our team, DW Investigations. Thank you for letting us tell these stories.
And last, but very much not least, quite the contrary, our thanks goes to our local sources on the ground, who, for their own safety at the time, could not be named at the time of publication.
Without them, we couldn't have told the story of Bangladesh's brutal Rapid Action Battalion and how its members went on to become peacekeepers.
Not longer after our publication, a mass protest movement in Bangladesh forced the government to resign, ushering in new freedoms.
An interim government quickly established a commission to look into the Rapid Action Battalion, which confirmed our reporting.
But while Bangladesh may have embarked on a laudable path, this is not the case elsewhere. In far too many countries, journalists and sources continue to take unimaginable risks to get important stories out.
That is why we strongly feel that this award honours those who, against the odds, take these risks. You are the ones who helped us tell a story that has played out in far too many parts of the world, an elite, highly trained force that, at least initially equipped and trained by Western powers, turned against its own people and was rewarded with lucrative UN postings.
Thank you for your help. We are thrilled and humbled at this opportunity to honor them and their relentless work with this award, even if we are sadly unable to join you in Dubai.
a huge congratulations to our joint third prize winners. And now I think it's time for our second prize winners in this category. So we have the envelope coming up to stage. Who is our second prize winner? We're creating tension on this stage.
It's so tightly sealed. The second prize winner for outstanding contribution to peace is Nicolas from the United States.
Mr. Terse receives 20,000 Swiss francs. Our congratulations. Mr. Terse, the floor is yours.
I'm a little bit stunned, so please bear with me. But I want to thank the Fetisov Awards for this tremendous honor. I'm grateful just to be mentioned in the same breath with the others in this category. And their work is just so incredibly powerful and inspiring. I'm grateful to The Intercept, who backed this reporting and made it possible. As a freelancer, I've been lucky for the last 10 years or so for The Intercept to host so many of my articles. They've allowed me to tell so many stories that no one else would. I'm grateful to the Pulitzer Center for making a very difficult decision to send a reporter back to Somalia. But mostly I owe such a debt to the family of Lildahir Muhammad and Miriam Sheila Muse for walking me through such a painful experience. The family's been through so much. They haven't seen justice, but I'll keep writing. And this award really means a lot as a freelancer to help me continue doing that. And I know that the family will keep fighting. I have it easier than so many journalists around the world, like those in Gaza facing death. I'm honored to be in this profession with them. But I've been year to year in journalism now for a long time, and I don't know how many more opportunities like this I'll have. So again, I want to thank the Fetisov Awards, and I just want to take a moment to thank all the people who have unlocked so many painful memories for me over the last 20+ years across Southeast Asia and in conflict zones from South Sudan to the DRC, from Libya to Somalia. These people gave so much of themselves to a stranger, and it's been the honor of my professional life to hear their stories and to tell them as best as I could. So thank you.
Another round of applause for Mr. Seth. Congratulations, our second prize winner in this category. Thank you so much for your groundbreaking reporting. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like Mr. Rojan Paruk to reveal the name of the first prize winner in the Outstanding Contribution to Peace category.
And the first prize winner is Sarah A. Topol from the United States.
A big congratulations, Sarah. Please join us on stage. The first prize winner receives 100,000 Swiss francs. Our huge congratulations. Let's get another big round of applause. Our first prize winner in the category. Yes, Outstanding Contribution to Peace. Sarah, the stage is yours. We cannot wait to hear from you.
Okay. Hi. Sorry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this award. I'm also a freelancer, so it all means so much to us. Thank you so much to the judges and to Mr. Fetisov and to the foundation for this tremendous honor. It's a privilege to be among such inspiring journalists from all over the world, doing such amazing work at such a difficult time. I'd like to thank the people in the Pacific who opened themselves up to my questions and sat patiently as I tried to understand this incredibly complex and dynamic region. There are too many activists and academics to name, but a few went above and beyond. Michael Luan Bevacqua in Guam, Deb Fleming in Tinian, 500 Sails in Saipan, Stephen Finnan in Pohnpei, Cliff Johnson in the Marshall Islands, and the crew of the US Coast Guard cutter Frederick Hatch, who I spent 10 days at sea with. But most crucially, Roy Gamboa, his family, and the veterans of Gutiérrez 671, who helped me struggle through the complexities of colonialism and patriotism and opened up about their lives and their struggles. Guam was nothing as I imagined. It was so much more. I hope so deeply that this work brings attention to the immense inequalities there and the rising risk to residents as US and China brinksmanship rises. A huge thanks to the International Women's Media Foundation and my editors at the New York Times Magazine, Mark Chino, Bill Wasick, Jake Silverstein, and fact-checkers Kyla Jones and Tim Holder. A big thanks to my family and friends for their support, and my partner Josh, who never bats an eye when I say I have to go spend 6 weeks in the Pacific. Thank you again to everyone in this room for making such amazing work, and thank you for being a part of tonight. Thank you.
Congratulations on your tremendous victory. And I would really like to thank Mr. Pravit Rojanapruk for helping me on stage. Wow, we've had so much excitement on stage, and now I would like to give the floor to the Honorary Advisor to the Fetisov Foundation, Charitable Foundation, and the Fetisov Journalism Awards, Mr. Aidan White.
Much indeed. I'm going to be brief because I know all of you are hungry and you want to get on with the rest of the evening. I'm going to say just a couple of things. It's great once again to be here, and it's great to see such wonderful, inspiring people receiving their awards. And I must say, I want to thank all of them for what they've done. We've also got guests here who I'd like to recognize. We're holding this meeting, this wonderful gala celebration, for the second time in Dubai. Dubai is a wonderful place. It's one of the most famous places in the world to come for a good time. But Dubai is also a place which is difficult sometimes for journalism and for journalists. And I'm really pleased, actually, that tonight we can recognize and thank very much the representatives of UAE journalists who have joined us, and they represent that family of journalists, not just in the UAE, but around the Arab world. And I'd like to recognize Mohammed Al-Hamadi, who is the president of the Gulf, the Association of Gulf News Agencies. He's been a supporter of the work we've been doing for a while, and the work he's doing is incredibly important in trying to assist the development of journalists in the region. But particularly, I want to actually welcome the new president of the UAE Journalists Association, Fadila Al-Mian. It's always really important for us in the FJA to make contact with local journalists and with local journalism and so on. And that's really part of our mission. I'm going to join very quickly and just sort of say thanks very much to the winners. I've really sat here and just been moved and inspired by the words that you've used to describe your work and so on. It's been a great night for freelancers, that's for sure. It's been a great night for teamwork. That's also for sure. And I'd also just like to say to you, welcome to the network of winners that are in the Fetisov Journalism Association. We had a wonderful meeting today of our expert group and our jury, and we talked about the future. We talked about the importance of journalism, and I want to really strongly echo what the wonderful Fetisov family said to us earlier this evening, about the importance and value of journalism. I don't have to tell you that because you've committed your lives to it, and you do it so well and so brilliantly. But what you do is, and I was very, very pleased to hear it. What I hear from you is, not just that you recognize the personal value of this recognition, but you recognize also that you're just part of a team, that behind you there are lots of others who are not here to receive awards, but are equally important. Your editors, your assistants, the people you rely on as part of the journalistic team to get the job done. It's a reminder that journalism isn't just about the individuals who come to the fore, it's about the teams that are behind them. And so in saying thank you and congratulations and so on, I think what we're doing is we're saying thank you and congratulations to that wonderful community of journalists that you represent, who we hope in the future are going to be also part of the development of the FJA. And tomorrow morning, the winners are going to join us for another meeting where we're going to discuss a very simple question is, how do we promote your work in the coming months? Because we don't want you just to be like a firework in the night sky. Celebrate tonight and disappear. We want your work to have a lasting impression. So we're going to talk tomorrow morning about how we organize webinars and other activities, perhaps in the regions, to promote your work, because it seems to us that what you've done is great journalism, but great work in the service of democracy as well. And we hope that that will be important. And my final word is this. As we've heard, behind all good journalism, there's a team. And I want to say that behind all good gala celebrations like this, there's also a team. You know, people who actually work together to help to make this night work. And I want to recognize, in particular, Guzel and Natalia. And Alfredo, the people who have made this such a successful evening. Thank you very much for your wonderful dedication and work. I also want to thank the charitable foundation, Yelena, who's here, and it seems to me that, you know, the foundation and the work of the foundation is absolutely vital, and the charitable foundation, which is supported by the Fetisov family, does enormous work. So Yelena and Miriam, thank you very much indeed for the work that you're doing. And one last thanks to my dear friend Nadia and Eva. Because as we've heard today, it's not so easy leading the Fetisov Journalism Association. There are all sorts of problems, but you have addressed those problems. We're not just with respect and dignity, but with good humor, dedication, and commitment. And that really has, for me, been as much an inspiration as the wonderful work that we've heard about tonight. So thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much to Mr. White. You truly made this event so special. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests and honorees, as we come to the close of this inspiring evening, I would like to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to many individuals and organizations who made the Fetisov Journalism Awards possible. First and foremost, a heartfelt thank you to the expert council and jury. Your dedication, discernment, and unwavering commitment to journalistic excellence ensured that these awards truly celebrate the best in our profession. Your hard work behind the scenes does not go unnoticed. Let's get a round of applause for the expert council and jury. We are profoundly grateful to the Fetisov Charitable Foundation, to the Honorary Advisor to the Fetisov Journalism Awards, Mr. Aidan White, and the FJA Steering Committee for their vision, generosity, and timeless efforts in championing the truth and integrity in journalism worldwide. Let's get another round of applause. To our wonderful partners, the Sheraton Grand, thank you for hosting us in such an elegant and welcoming setting. This has been incredible, and your hospitality has made the evening even more memorable. And the incredible team of Pure Magic Event Agency for your precision and flawless execution brought this ceremony to life. Tonight's success is a reflection of your talent and hard work. And now a special thank you to the founder of the Fetisov Journalism Awards, Mr. Gleb Fetisov. Your support, let's get a round of applause everyone. Your support for independent journalism lights the way for truth seekers everywhere. We thank you so much for making this celebration possible. And finally, to the nominees, winners, and all of you, our attendees, thank you for your passion, courage, and commitment to journalism. You remind us why this profession matters more than ever. Let's give a final round of applause to everyone who made this night possible. Let's bring the energy. Everyone, please enjoy your dinner. We're going to have some live music. And in the meantime, I would like to invite all of our winners to stage to take a photograph. We want a group photograph.
Beautiful life, you hold a mystery. A beautiful life, what have you done to me? I was content until you came along, thrilling my soul with your song. Beautiful life, I roamed your paradise. I'm searching for life, my dreams to realize. Reaching for heaven, depending on you. A beautiful life.